everybody, I'm Chas, and I am here today from Fort Collins, Colorado. Thank you Hometalk for having me, and thank you to all of you for being here. We're going to do a lot of different things with solar lights today, because I am a big, huge solar light fan. Huge. So, we are going to get started, and while I do get started, please tell me where you are tuning in from. So we're going to start with this chandelier. I found it at a flea market, and it was missing all the glass things for the tea lights that was supposed to come with it. And what I did is I just took it outside and I spray painted it, fresh paint, so it looked good. And then this one was really simple, because all you have to do with these solar lights, they're from the Dollar Tree, you just pull them apart to use them. I'm going to be doing a lot of this pulling apart today. So then all I did was set these in each little circle. And that was it. So that was a really easy solar chandelier, and I hardly spent any money on it. I spent money from the Dollar Tree on these solar lights, and I spent like $2 on this because it was broken and nobody wanted it, but I did. So, hearts, if you think you would like something like this at your home, we put it on our gazebo. If you were worried at all, I mean, the wind has rattled these, they've never fallen out, but if you were worried, you could either silicone them in place or, you know, hot glue them or something like that. But I've had not really any trouble, and it's been out there in the wind for like a whole year. So, at any rate, that is a solar chandelier. I would love to see hearts if you like that, and please share this with anybody else that you think might be interested. Okay, I will bring this back later because we're going to try to turn everything on later, but I'm going to set it aside for now so that we can move on to the next one. And where are we tuning in from?
We got Australia, Kansas, Ohio, Panama.
Welcome, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here today. All right, so this is just a candle holder. Again, I found this at a thrift store, and I spray painted it, again, neutral colors to match my stuff, because one of the things I wanted to use this for was I don't know if you know what a sky chair is, but it's kind of a swinging chair, and I wanted to use it as a cup holder. But when it isn't serving as a cup holder, I want it to be a solar light for me to look at. So again, this is just, I just spray painted it because it was kind of green and it was kind of a little bit rusty. And then I took one of these at the this was at a thrift store too. Thrift store, and it's just an old light fixture. And then I just set it up on top of there, like that. Again, pulled apart the solar light, right? And then I just placed that in there. Let's see if I can get it to turn on for you. Probably not. It's just a little too light outside. Is it turning on? Mm-hmm. Okay, so then it's got a solar light. So it's kind of like a flower outside when it's sitting out there, you know, and I'm not sitting enjoying a beverage in my sky chair. So I like to look at it because it's a flower. Now again, I wanted to make this so it was removable, but if you wanted it to be more solid, then by all means, silicone it in. You know, no problem there. And then you can replace these solar lights whenever you need to, because they do sometimes go out. All right. Now, we do have a giveaway today. It is for this tote bag. Yay! And the question is, what have you DIY'd instead of getting store-bought? So start sending those our way. We'd love to see those. And I'll move my tote bag outside now. Speaking of solar lights, again, this is just, I found this today, literally today at a thrift store. And, you know, even this. Again, you just pop off a solar light, stick it inside. If you're going to put it on your covered porch, it's probably fine like this. If you're going to store it in a window in your house, it's fine just like this. If you're going to put it where some water is going to get into it, I don't know if you're familiar with this kind of stuff, but if water hits in here into this store-bought mirror glass stuff, it comes right off with water. So you'll want to protect that by putting some silicone around that. But I will go ahead and tape this up really fast. Again, I'm going to bring stay with me because I'm going to be turning off all the lights and everything at the end of this show to try to show you what all of them look like. But just throw some painter's tape on here so you might be able to see a little bit of that action in there. Let me just put it over here. Maybe it'll read a little better. Is that showing up at all? Might be too light outside still. But anyways, we'll shut some blinds later to help show that a little bit better. Okay, moving on to the next solar light. All right, so this is just a candlestick holder. I got that at the thrift store as well. And then you could be as simple as this. You could just put some silicone in there and put your light on top and it's done. I wanted this to be a little bit fancier, and I found this old fixture that probably was a candle holder into it, like something that a sconce that sat on the wall. And then I'm going to use this adhesive, this E6000, and it's a permanent but flexible adhesive. Now, it is gooey stuff, so I'm going to get some paper towels ready just in case, because a lot of times it will just start oozing out as soon as you're ready to use it. And you will need to let this set for 24 hours after you put this in here. So I'm going to start filling this up. I do have a backup one if this one runs out. Now I don't want to fill it all the way up. I want to be a little bit careful because this thing has a stem on it, and when I put it in there I don't want it to overflow too much. So all right, I'm going to start with that. So like I said, here it comes, oozing out. So I'm going to throw that lid on there really fast to stop it. All right. Let's see if I overfilled it. Oh, it looks pretty good. All right, and there you go. And now I'm going to let that sit for 24 hours and let that glue solidify inside there. You could use this just like this and put like a battery operated or a tea light in there. You could put water in here and then add the tea light and have it be a floating candle. It kind of reminds me of spring, a little bit tulip shaped. What do you guys think? Does it remind you of spring too? Let me see some thumbs if you like that, and share this if you think you know somebody who might want to make this. This is another kind of solar light. This one just came from, I believe, Walmart. And again, I'm going to be careful because this is not solid. I'm just going to set that in there, and I'll hold my hand over it. But it's just going to light it up. And it's just colored glass, and I would like to leave it that way, but you could add some rocks in there, some marbles, some different things to add some color to it if it was a plain one. But if you like this, I'd love to know, and I'd love to know if you make that, if you think you would make that. All right, since he's gluey, I'm going to move him over here. And we'll move on to the next one. This one is a candelabra. And I found this at a little crazy, I don't know if it was a consignment shop or what it was, but he had just all kinds of random stuff in his store, and this was like just a couple bucks. And it was brown, and I wanted it to shine a little bit more. So I spray painted it silver. And then what I'm going to do now is, and I've got a variety, you got to choose what's kind of best for you. I'm probably going to fill it with this silicone. But I did find this one yesterday, and this one appealed to me because it did say that it deals with weather flexing, which I thought was really cool. And then I also found this liquid nails sealer stuff too. So this one sounds really interesting, but I didn't want to go for that today since I'm not as familiar with that. So silicone is what we're going to be using because it works good for outside for rain. And again, I like to put this stuff out in my patio. It just adds a little bit of ambiance. Do you guys like ambiance on your patios? I would love to know. What are some of the ideas, Brielle? As I fill this with silicone, I'm going to fill each candlestick holder, because this was like a taper holder, I'm going to fill each one with some silicone. So as I do, why don't you tell me what some of those people have DIY'd? And maybe where else they're tuning in from.
Someone made a craft desk out of an old kitchen countertop.
Nice.
Someone made a mannequin out of chicken wire and used old t-shirts to cover it and stuffed it with pillow fluff.
Nice. Good job. Have you posted this stuff on Hometalk? People like to learn how to do the stuff you're making. Help teach others. Again, I'm just filling this up. Now, this one I'm filling up a little bit more. I'm going to show you why, because I may have to touch it up a little bit more as I go here. So all three of those are full. And because this is silver, I'm going to go again with one of these silver solar lights. Again, this is like $1 at Walmart. So the thing with these are there's the hole in here. So as I stick this in here, it's going to go into that hole which you want. But what I found when this happens is then it needs more. So this is just kind of me figuring out exactly how much glue or more glue I need to put in here, because it's going to fill into that hole in the solar light, which I could put a little in there too, so I will. All right. Now I probably got too much, right? I did, but that's okay. I'll just wipe that excess off. There. All right, so I'm going to do that with the next two. So let me get the next two lights. And again, I'm just going to pull the bottom off. And you know what? Does anyone have ideas what to do with these? Turn them into wind chimes? I don't know, a little instrument or something. Something for kids to mess around with. But yeah, you get these leftover scraps, and then you think about what you want to do with them. Last year, I actually used some of them with Sharpie, and I used them as garden stakes. So I wrote on them with Sharpie, and there we go. That one needs a little bit more. But I wrote on those little stakes with Sharpie and then put them near my plants, so I'd know like that one's potatoes or which one each one was.
Someone asked how you would change the bulbs if they burn out or they die.
Thank you for asking that. Actually, this is about the second or third time I've redone this one. So the silicone is forgiving. So it'll hold up in the weather, but I was able to pull this solar light back out, the one that was dead, suck it back out, and then what I'd have to do is this is all solid, right? So this comes right out. This one's the dead one. Throw that away. This is all solid in here. And then I just kind of took a scissors and went around it in a circle and kind of pulled it out. And a couple of them pulled right out like a little cork. And then some of the other ones didn't come out quite as easy. That one's got a little extra, but not bad. What do you think? Do you like that? Would you like that on your patio when you're sitting with your family or out, you know, having some reading time or quiet? Well, I guess it's kind of hard to read in the dark, but sitting outside with your friends. All right, let's see if I can get it to light up. There we go. How about some hearts and thumbs if you like that, or share that to a friend's page if you think that somebody else might want to make this too. Pretty darn simple, and these little candelabras are all over the place at Art and Goodwill and all kinds of places like that, and you'll find them at you know, garage sales and stuff too, because you know, wax makes a mess. These don't. It's really great. You could charge these up and use them inside too. They just need to get enough sun. So the thing about solar lights, a little background on solar lights, there is a rechargeable battery in there, and they are not just rechargeable batteries you can get at the store. And they are special solar batteries. So you need to get, the more sunlight, direct sunlight they get, the longer they'll go. So if they get direct sunlight all day, they'll pretty much go all night. But the less amount of light you get, the less amount of time they'll run. So like I've got some of these on my front porch and it's covered. They don't get as much light. They get a lot of indirect light. So they might only run 2 to 4 hours in the evening. But for me, sometimes that's okay. This one will run longer because it's going to be in my backyard. But if the indirect lighting, like, well, I'm not going to sit out there past midnight, really, so I don't know that I want them on that long. So it's really kind of up to you. But the more light they get, the more they'll recharge and the more they'll run. All right, let me move him aside. Over here. There we go. And let's make some more. All right, this I just found. I remember when I brought this back home, everybody kind of laughed at me because I was like, what are you going to do with that? Looks like junk. And of course, what was I going to do? I was going to make it into something solar. I have a question for all you. Keep answering that DIY question about what you've made. But my question is, okay, I'm a ridiculous solar person. I love solar lights, and I love sitting outside with my solar lights. How many lights do you think I have in my backyard? And just to give you a starting point, I have probably it's a decent sized backyard. I don't know, real, I guess you could pan out there and kind of show everybody the yard really fast. But that's the yard. So how many solar lights do you think I have in my backyard? Start putting those up and I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. I'll tell you the number of that when we get done. Okay, so these solar lights, of course, had the stem on them and I pulled them off. And these came from Walmart and they are color changing. So I love that about them, but a lot of times they sell the just white ones, which I think would be just as great. And the reason I went with these ones, I'll be honest, because I did try I like the color changing though, to be honest too, but let me pull this bad boy off. If I were to stick this one in here, sometimes they don't stay. Like they did for my solar chandelier, but this one, they wouldn't have stayed. It's too big, so that wouldn't have worked. So again, you got to get creative with what you can find and what you want to do. So I found these, and they fit in there. Just like that. Now, this is the battery right here, and it doesn't bother me, but because the water, when it rains and stuff, comes down this way or from the side, they've been fine. Nothing's they're enclosed in this plastic too, and there's a screw to get to the batteries underneath. So they've been fine. They've been outside all summer, last year, all winter, and they're still going strong. So what do you think? Hearts, thumbs? Would you like something like this? Do you think if you saw something like this at a thrift store now, you might like get creative and make something cool to sit in your backyard and like enjoy it? To me, it kind of reminds me of a fire pit, right? The shape is, first I was like swampy, and then I went, oh, maybe fire pit. You could make a fire pit without having the fire. I don't know. Do we have any guesses on how many solar lights?
Tons. We've got 500, 50, 100, 2,225.
Oh, I love all these.
75, 1,850, 1,500,
oh my
64,
gosh.
You know, tons of
You
guesses.
guys are awesome. Okay, not quite that many.
28.
Okay, so I found this last year. I was eyeballing this little owl guy at Walmart, but I was like, no, I'm not going to spend full price on something. And at the end of the year, I lucked out, and he went on clearance. And I think he's supposed to be a candle holder, but I just liked him because he was an owl. But then, of course, what was I going to do? I was going to turn him into a solar light because that's what I do. So I just have a recyclable jar here, and that's going to help me inside here. And then I bought a bigger light for this guy and pulled the stem off. And it doesn't fit perfect. I could keep looking for a jar that's a little better, but I'm going to set it in there like that. It's a little crooked right now. There we go. So I'm going to set this jar in here like that. Oh, and let me show you quick. So this one, you could always silicone them in, and again, they come off later. But this one, his cover goes around the jar, so I'm not super worried about water getting to this one. Now, if you live in wet climate, you probably want to silicone things just to secure them. We are pretty dry out here in Colorado, so we don't always get a lot of water. So here he is. I'll see if he'll turn on a little bit for you guys. Again, it's daylight, so it's hard to see all this stuff. But again, I just took, this could be, well, it could be a planter, I guess. It'd be good and aerated for watering and stuff. But, candles always go out for me. I love candles outside, but the wind blows them out, the breeze blows them out. They burn lopsided, so I'm all about these solar lights. All right. I have one more for you, and then We'll try to put them all up here and make it dark so that you can see everything, and we'll recap. But last chance to get in on the giveaway. And again, that question was, what have you DIY'd instead of getting store-bought? And I love any hearts and thumbs. Thank you so much again for being here. Please share this with anybody you think would love it. And I would love to have like some sort of solar parade where we all share with each other things that we've made solar-wise. That'd be so awesome. And post things on Hometalk. Give me more ideas of things to make. So if you've made some cool things, please share them on Hometalk. Okay, this is a planter. So in here, you were supposed to be able to put, it's very dirty, I'm sorry, but it's you were supposed to put a plant in here, and it's the lighthouse, and I'm a big lighthouse fan as well. Kind of goes with solar.
It says I'm a planter right there.
Does it say? That's awesome. Oh, on the sticker, I see it. So again, this was another thing I kind of really wanted, but then I was like, no, I'm not going to spend the money on it. And then, of course, this little guy, he had some nicks and stuff on him, which I can touch up. It's no big deal. But I brought him home, got him for super cheap, and then my husband bought this for me for Mother's Day with the kids, and I believe this came from World Market, if I remember right. But again, you could use a vase. You could use a lot of different things. So it has a hanging thing. It had been a hanging solar light, but then when I got this, I got the new idea to just change it up. So I set the glass in here. There we go. Now I got them stable. Again, pulled the stem off of the light and then set the light, which fits like so great right on top of the lighthouse. And how easy was that, right? So it's just kind of getting creative and saying, hey, I'm going to change that planter into solar light. I'm going to change that candle holder into a solar light. I'm going to change, you know, whatever you want. Or like my silly little candle, my cup holder thing that I turned into a flower. So, you know, you just get creative and you make your own stuff and think outside the box. So how many of you guys liking this stuff? Hearts and thumbs, please. Please share if you love it. If you know somebody who's like, yeah, I want to make that. That'd be great. I'd love to share it with anyone you want. All right, I'm going to try to put all this stuff on the table now. We will recap, and then I'm going to try to make all these lights go off, even though it's daylight still here. So there's my flower. And, all right, so we had last chance on the giveaway. Oh, and I still got to tell you how many solar lights. It's not in the thousands. It's not even in the giant hundreds. So you guys make me feel better now. I was like, people are going to think I'm crazy. All right, so we have this guy with the little orbs. I don't know, that's what I'm calling them. We have the candle holder that I turned into a cup holder / flower solar light. We've got this candelabra. I'm going to try to make this all fit on here. So let's see if I can. We've got the candelabra. We've got this little tulip guy we made out of candle holder and a sconce left over from the thrift store, and E6000'd it and then threw a solar light in there. And of course we have the lighthouse, which I'm going to back him up. He is dirty from being outside. Hopefully that's okay, guys, because I got to get the chandelier up here still. All right, and then we've got, I'm going to hang it once. Hanging chandelier. And this goes in our gazebo. And our gazebo kind of has a clear, UV protected clear light, so it gets a lot of light, so it's great for us. But if it had a covered top, it would still get indirect light. It would just not run as long. So the more light, again, it gets, the better off it's going to be. All right, let me try quickly to get all these guys to go off for us. So I got some room darkening shades here. I'm going to close, and then I'll turn the lights off. Okay, what are some last DIYs, Brielle?
Let's see here. Let me look through here. Headboard for a bed. It's kind of like something you would do. Stumps from trees, and then someone sanded it and put it as a table on her porch.
Love it.
A 3-tier fountain out of decorative planter urns.
All right, let me see if I can turn my other lights off quick. All right, looks like we kind of got them to go. Hopefully it's going to read okay for all you guys out there. This was the one that I threw painter's tape on. I'll remove that because people are like, that came in late. What are you doing? So again, that I just found for 99 cents today at the thrift store and threw a solar light in it. Done. Super awesome.
Now the camera's having trouble focusing.
Camera is
Got
okay.
it.
Again,
Working on
share, hearts and thumbs. I love them. Share with anybody. I'll be making, I'm sure, more of these this year. I think I already actually started working on a couple new solar things for outside. My kids will laugh at me some more. Oh, that's okay. I don't mind. I like it. Okay, so the number in my backyard, and this is a rough guess because I'm sure I lost count, but the number of solar lights and creations and light strands that are solar in my backyard is around 85. 85 solar lights and creations and light strands in my backyard. And then I also have a string of lights that's plug-in, but I hope to upgrade that to not be there anymore. All right, Brielle, why don't you tell us who the winner is?
Let's see. I don't think Hometalk oh yeah, yes she did.
Okay.
It says Laura Ryman Collins.
Congratulations. Go ahead, Brielle.
They posted her answer this time. So it
Oh.
said she took pieces of a tree and drilled holes and put solar lights in it for her dad's cemetery plot.
Oh, I love that. That's usually one of the gifts that I give away for people who have lost someone. I give them a package of perennial flower seeds so that they'll come back every year, and a solar light so that they have a place to go and remember their loved ones. So I love that idea. Congratulations. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss another live. I will be back this coming Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll be making some more things for outside. Not all of them will be solar, but some more crazy creations for outside. And don't forget to tune in on Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next live, and you won't want to miss it. They're always great. Always learn something new. Again, thank you for being here. Hearts and thumbs if you like this. Share this with your friends, please. And thank you. Again, thank you, Hometalk, for having me. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.